Craig, into the first round of the 1895 Cup, thoroughly professional performance this afternoon against Swinton. You must be really, really pleased.
Yeah, definitely. I thought we started the game a little bit slow. I think we only completed 3 out of our first 6, and that gave Swinton plenty of field position in our 20-metre area, but we defended that really well. Managed to get the score just on the stroke of half time to go 16 points up, which I thought were important for us. I think just to go into half time 3 scores up, but then we challenged the boys at half time to be professional in that second half, and I thought they were. I think we were 23 out of 24 or something like that in the second half, and they were really, really clinical and ruthless in what they did, and that's what we asked them to do.
We all arrived here this afternoon not knowing what to expect. Rainy conditions, wet conditions, typical Manchester weather. But as you say, you must be really pleased with, as I say, how they handled the conditions. I know the sun's out right now, but as I say, we handled everything well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and we didn't get in until late with the traffic on the motorway. I think we had a 45-50 minute turnaround from actually getting here to going out and playing, so we had that to contend with as well. So we had a few things chucked at us today, and the players just they dealt with it really resiliently. We asked them not to make that as an excuse, not to use it as an excuse, and we can't control what we can't control. And that was the traffic on the M62 is out of our hands. But what we could control is how we responded to that, how we prepped, how we went out and warmed up, and how the guys played today. And I thought they handled it really well and executed what we asked them to do.
Once we did get underway, as I say, it was a bit of a scrappy 10-15 minutes from both sides, getting used to them conditions. But then on the back of that, we came out of it. 2 George Griffins trying, and Kieran Gill tried to set us up nicely heading into the break.
Yeah, definitely. So we started fairly slowly, which sometimes you can start slowly in conditions like this, where it looks okay now. Looking out, it's quite dry, and it's quite firm. But when we got standing water on the field, it was pretty difficult conditions to play in, and we knew it was going to be scrappy. We knew it was going to be a tight game in that first half, and there's quite a strong wind as well. You don't realise until you actually stood out on the field how strong the wind is. We were against that wind in that first half, which we obviously had the benefit in the second half, and that certainly helped us. So not as good as we wanted to be in that first half, but second half really professional performance to finish the game off.
Just how pleasing is it from a coaching point of view? As I say, we've come here today, played a Swinton side who, as I say, didn't make it easy for us at the start, but we've come here and we've nilled them.
Yeah, it's always pleasing as a coach to have the 0 on the board, and it's nice that we've put some points on as well. 2 weeks on the bounce now, we've scored some points, and it sets us up hopefully nicely going into the Oldham game. But certainly defensively, really, really pleased with how we performed today. Better than last week. The 2 or 3 tries that we conceded last week that weren't really us, how we've been this season. So to get the 0 on the board is really, really pleasing. I thought the attitude towards defence today were excellent. It weren't just a case of we want to score points. It was we want to keep them to 0, and we did that. And we know, Swinton are a young team, they're an inexperienced team, but what they've got a lot of kids that have come from decent backgrounds, a lot of enthusiasm, and they work for each other all the way through to the 80th minute. And we knew that was going to come, and how they started the game that first 10-15 minutes, to really put it on us. For us to withstand that pressure on our goal line as well early on, really sort of set the game up for us.
And there's plenty of positives, as I say, to take out of this, heading into that Oldham game next Saturday, a big game in the Betfred Championship, and another good test for us.
Yeah, it's massive. Again, we're still nowhere where we want to be as a team. There's still lots of room for improvement. There's still areas with ball in hand where we're a bit scratchy, and them connections aren't quite there at this moment in time. But we've scored 50 points today, and that's me being really, really critical. But we know that when we're playing the Londons, the Doncasters, the Oldhams, as we're talking about for next week, we're going to need to be really clinical in some of the moments that we get, because you might not get too many occasions where you can put points on the board against the real top teams in this division. So that's where we need to be really good. But if we can come with the attitude to defence that we've shown all season, and how we've sort of executed it today, then that'll certainly help us.